talk about 2.3, which are the Middle Colonies. We're going to talk about Delaware, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. So just to review the New England Colonies, the New England Colonies consisted of New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Religion there, mostly Puritans. So the Puritans settled in the Massachusetts Bay Colony and then expanded to the three other colonies. The three other colonies were more diverse compared to the strict Puritans in Boston. Remember, Boston was considered the city upon a hill, so they're very strict there. The climate in the New England colonies was much colder than the other two regions that we're going to talk about, which is the middle and southern colonies. The geography of the New England colonies was mostly hills and rocky soil. Therefore, it was not good for farming. So the economy in the New England colonies consisted of mostly shipbuilding, also selling lumber, fishing. Some of the best fishing water in the world is just to the northeast of Maine, and then trade through the Boston Harbor. They did sell a little bit of fur, but mostly shipbuilding and fishing, the main two, because they could not farm because the weather was too cold. So the Middle Colonies that we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about how they were created, who lived there, what the weather was like, and what's the land and soil like, and what kind of religion would be allowed. So the first one we're going to talk about is Delaware. If you're taking notes, write down everything in the yellow. So the Delaware Colony was founded in 1638 by Peter Minute and the New Sweden Company. It was the first European settlement in the Delaware Valley on the Christina River. So the type of people that lived there, Delaware was more open to different nationalities, which means people from all over, not just England. They allowed people from Poland, allowed people from Sweden there, and it was okay. They also allowed many different religions because they had many different nationalities, people from different backgrounds, people from different countries. They had different religions, different languages. So it was very diverse, especially compared to the New England colonies. Like we said, the New England colonies are mostly all Puritans, mostly all from England. The economy of Delaware consisted of, they had fertile land, which made agriculture and farming profitable. And farms produced grain, rice, and indigo. The forest in the colony supported a thriving lumber industry such as shipbuilding, ironworks, trading, and shipping lumber. Okay, so notice the economy in the middle colonies, there's going to be more farming involved because the weather is going to be a little bit warmer compared to the New England colonies, but they're also going to have a lot of trees like the New England colonies, so they'll still be able to do some of the same things as the New England colonies, such as shipbuilding and lumber. Religion, there was a mixture of religion. Remember, there were many different nationalities that lived here in Delaware, so there's going to be a mixture of religion, and they're going to allow religious freedom and tolerance. So it's not just any one type of religion. It's very diverse. New York. So the New Netherlands was originally founded by the Dutch from Holland. So New York, the state New York, was actually originally called New Netherlands. So under the Dutch control, New York was called New Netherlands. That's the colony or the state. And then New York City was called New Amsterdam. So New Amsterdam was the kind of the headquarters of New Netherlands. And that was under control by the Dutch. Now the problem is you had the New England colonies were founded by England. And then you had Jamestown down to the south that was founded by England. And then you have the Dutch who are going to settle right in between. And the king of England, King Charles II, he did not want the Dutch and basically breaking his colonies apart, separating them. He wants all this land for England. And so he's going to send over a Navy fleet to New Amsterdam and overtake the city and the colony. This is because New Amsterdam, or New York City, was considered a major port city and great for trading. And so once King Charles II, he sends his British Navy fleet over to New York, and the Dutch basically surrender. They're not willing to put up a fight. And so King Charles then gives this new land that he just won to his brother, who is named Duke of York. So now, under the British control, they're going to rename this land New Netherlands. The colony now becomes New York, and New Amsterdam becomes New York City. So the people that lived there, the population of New York was very diverse. There was colonists from Netherlands, France, England, and elsewhere living in the colony. The economy of New York was made up of agriculture and manufacturing. Agriculture products included cattle, grain, rice, indigo, and wheat. Manufacturing centered around shipbuilding, and also they would mine for iron also, so metal. The religion there, the New York colony had a very diverse population that also brought a large mixture of religions that were practiced in the colony. So much like the last colony we talked about, another middle colony that's very diverse. Next, we have New Jersey. So New Jersey was originally part of New Netherlands. And when the king's brother, the Duke of York, gets this land from his brother that he renames New York, he's going to give part of it to his two buddies, Lord Berkeley and Sir George Carteret. And this is going to be known as New Jersey. So they're going to get this land from the Duke of York. So the people that lived there was advertised and promised settlers many different benefits, including the belief in representational government, which we have today, and religious freedom. So once again, another middle colony that is all about religious freedom and tolerating any religion. Okay, and it's going to be very diverse, just like the other two. So it's going to have many different nationalities, so people from all over the world, not just England, and with that comes a lot of different religions. The economy there, much like the other one, centered around agriculture, including breeding of livestock. Okay, you have the Jersey cow. Iron was also mined and manufactured in New Jersey. Religion, like we said, people from all different types of background ended up in New Jersey. Therefore, you're going to have many different types of religion also. And they're going to allow that. They're going to have a religious freedom. And so you do not have to be a certain religion to live in New Jersey. Pennsylvania is going to be the last of the middle colonies that we talk about. We've already talked about it a little bit before on the Quaker video, but it was founded by William Penn in 1681. So this land was granted to Penn by the British Crown to pay off a debt owed to Penn's father. So William Penn's father, he was in charge of the British Navy. He's going to end up passing away. The king owed William Penn's father, owed him a debt, and to pay it off, he's going to give William Penn the colony of Pennsylvania in the New World instead of money. And William Penn was a Quaker, and so he's going to invite the other Quakers that were living in Massachusetts at the time. He is going to invite them to Pennsylvania and say, come live here. You can live this lifestyle you want to live, and you do not have to get judged by the Puritans in Massachusetts. And so the top people there, mostly Quakers, and they're going to be known as the Religious Society of Friends. And this is going to be the first anti-slavery society. And early on, William Penn is actually going to own slaves himself. He's going to create the town of Philadelphia, which is going to have sell many slaves. They're going to have many slave auctions in Philadelphia. But eventually, the Quakers are going to be the first group to kind of come around and realize that slavery is wrong and that they're going to start trying to abolish slavery or end it. So Quakers are the first anti-slavery society. So the economy there in Pennsylvania was mixed. Fertile soils supported the farming and agriculture, and the products of the farm were grain, corn, cattle, and dairy. Okay, so you have grain. If you think of what, on the last slide, it had a picture of the Quaker Oats cereal grain. And it's still a major part of the economy today. And so there was also manufacturing established in the colony that included paper making and shipbuilding. Okay, so they have lots of trees also. If you remember Pennsylvania, the name Pennsylvania, the first part being Penn, named after William Penn's father. The Slovenia part means woods. And so there's lots of trees there. Religion, the colony was founded for the purpose of providing freedom and tolerance for the Quakers of England. And once established, Penn and the Quakers granted religious freedom to everyone in the colony. So not, more than just Quakers came to Pennsylvania. Many people that wanted to leave Massachusetts, that wanted to leave the strict lifestyle in Boston and in Massachusetts. A lot of them would come up to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, known as the city of brotherly love, because they thought everyone was created equal, men, women. They supported. They thought that Indians were just as important as Europeans. They're going to be the first anti-slavery group, so they're going to support Africans. And so it's just a really good place to live. And so this is known as a religious refuge because they support freedom of religion. So just a review of the Middle Colonies. We had Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. So the Middle Colonies were mostly ethnical and religiously diverse of the 13 colonies, so especially compared to the North. So the North was mostly Puritans with a lot of the similar beliefs, and now in the Middle Colonies we have a very diverse group of people with many different religious backgrounds, and they're all going to be welcomed in the Middle Colonies. The climate here is going to be a little bit warmer than the New England colonies, but obviously it's going to be a little cooler than the Southern colonies. So it's good for farming, not great, not as good as the Southern colonies, but it's still pretty good for farming. So they're going to have a longer growing period compared to the New England colonies. So the geography made up of hills and flat land with good soil. Natural resources includes lots of trees and iron. And then the religion, every colony in the Middle Colonies is going to support religious freedom. And so, they're going to support all different religions.